And may I know who is hosting the Zoom? Please mute yourself. Yeah, even others also requested to mute yourself. You will be getting time to ask your questions. At that time, you can unmute yourself and you can ask your questions. Today, we will be knowing about operating system, utility program, and what are the steps involved in installing Windows 7 operating system, Windows 10 operating system, and how will we doing the updates for operating system. Those are the topics what we will be covering in today's session. Operating systems and utility program. Objective overviews. What are the functions of operating systems? We will be knowing what are the various server operating systems, what are the various standalone operating systems, what are the purposes of several utility programs. We will be knowing in our further slides. System software consists of the programs that control or maintain the operations of the computer and its devices. A software is nothing but a program which controls or manages the operations of the device, whatever we are using. If it is a desktop and the input and output devices, keyboard, mouse, mic, etc., will be controlled by a software. If suppose we are having a software called VLC player, we are playing a music with the help of VLC player. So VLC player controls that program and it delivers the output through speakers, and we will be able to listen the music with the help of speakers. Operating systems. An operating system or OS is a set of programs consisting of instructions that work together to coordinate all the activities among computer hardware resources. Operating system is nothing but the instructions which collectively work to take out the output or take out the or derive the or extract the output with the help of using the hardware resources like whatever the motherboard, SMPS, RAM, keyboard, mouse is there. With the help of all those devices, it will extract the output. Start and shutdown of a computer, how it starts and shut down, provides a user interface, how we configure the devices, automatically updates, controlling a network, managing programs, managing memory, monitor performance, etc. Operating system. See here, start and shut down the computer. How it starts. There is a power on button. With the help of it, we will switch on the operating system. Whatever the program we want to use, we will select that program, and with the help of that program, if we are using some paint application, we will just select that paint application. That image get opens, we will access it. We will, if we want to give it a print, we can give it to print. If we want to send that attachment through email, via email, we can send it via email also. How operating system functions. The process of starting or restarting of a computer is called booting process. And the booting process is classified into two types: cold booting, warm booting. Turning on a computer that has been powered off completely, a system, a laptop, or a device, desktop, which is powered off completely, we are switching on, that is nothing but cool boot. When the system is on, but due to some reason or hiccups, if we are restarting that system with the help of a operating system is nothing but warm boot. Using the operating system to restart a computer is a warm boot. How a PC boots. The power supply sends a signal to the components in the system unit is nothing but switch mode power supply, SMPS. From there, the processor finds the ROM chip that contains the BIOS, basic input system, what all the instructions it getting. It loads the operating system. The BIOS performs the post power on self test within fraction of seconds whether all the devices are functioning or not. It will send the signals which checks components such as mouse, keyboard, adapter, XYZ hardwares which are in the and outside the system. Power on self test post. The result of the post are compared with the data in a CMOS chip. What all the devices have been installed will be checked in a CMOS battery, CMOS chip. After checking, the BIOS look for the system files. System files are nothing but operating system on a USB flash drive or on optical drive, or it look directly on a C drive. By default, we will install our OS mostly on drive letter C. If the OS is, we have stored it on an external flash drive, it takes the operating system from external flash drive or from external disk drive. Then the system file and the kernel of the operating system loads in the memory, RAM, temporary memory from the storage of the hard disk. And then we will get a desktop on a screen. The operating system loads configuration information, may request user information, starts several background processes, and displays the desktop on the screen. See, as you're able to see, there is a processor, RAM, ROM memory chips, sound card, video card, external cards have been installed. Here there is a hard disk which is installed. Here there is an optical disk drive, DVD drive, SMPS on motherboard. These are the things which are fixed. A boot drive is the drive from which your computer starts, whether it's a hard drive or whether it's a floppy drive or whether it's a disk drive, DVD, or whether it's a flash drive or USB drive. You can boot from a boot disk. A recovery disk contains a few system files that will start the system. In most of the cases, we will be keeping a recovery disk also. If our OS get crashed down, we will use that recovery disk to load or to resolve the crash of a system. An operating system includes various shutdown options like sleep mode saves an open document and programs to RAM, turn off all unneeded functions that and then place the computer in a low power state. There is a sleep mode option in a system. If we are fixed that if we are not using or not performing any activity on our system for 15 minutes or 30 minutes of inactivity, it will minimize all the programs what are in process and takes the system into a sleep mode to save the power. A user interface controls how you enter data and instructions and how information is displayed on the screen is nothing but user interface. See, start menu, start button, start menu. From there, you're selecting files, what all the files you want to select. Likewise, with a graphical user interface, GUI, you interact with menu and visual images. When it comes to server operating system, you can access the operating system by means of two command line interface, CLI, and GUI, graphic user interface. And when it comes to normal desktop operating systems also, most of the users will be user friendly with the use of graphical user interface. With a command line interface, a user uses the keyboard to enter data and instructions. Whatever the commands we use, with the help of that, we will get the output. Windows, and we need to type CMD. So our system will enter into the command line mode, CMD. From there, we can use the commands to check the connectivity of one-in-one system, whether we will be able to ping the network printer or not. We can check all those with the command line interface. How an operating system handles programs directly affects your productivity. How effectively the operating system is taking care of the hardware and software. It purely affects our productivity. If the software what we are using is having a compatibility issue with the operating system, then definitely it will hiccup with glitches and productivity will be get affected. And if there is a hardware issue also, then the productivity get affected. Single user or multi-user, single tasking or multitasking, multiprocessing. It depends on the type of system what we are using and depends on what we are performing. Multitasking is nothing but simultaneously we are doing multiple tasks. Memory management optimizes the use of RAM. Virtual memory is a portion of a storage medium functioning as additional RAM. Whatever we access from a hard drive, if there is a document which we have saved on a hard drive, we want to access it and we want to do some more additions or deletions in that document, that will first primarily get stored in RAM so that we can get faster access. That is, RAM is random access memory which will store data for a time being. If system gets shut down, the, the data whatever it stores get erased from RAM. The operating system determines the order in which tasks are processed. Whatever the instructions we are giving to the computer through input, it will go and hit the drive, take the document. We want to print, okay, print instruction goes. If we have printed 5 documents simultaneously, till one document is having 10 pages, till those 10 pages get printed, the second document will be in a spool. It won't get printed. After first document 10 pages get printed, then second documents come comes up and it starts getting printed. Till then, third document will be in a spool queue. Drivers are nothing but small programs that tells the operating system how to communicate with specific device. When it comes to Windows XP or Windows 7, we need to install the drivers, whatever the device we are fixing to our system, we need to install the drivers. When it comes to Windows 10 operating system, most of the device drivers are plug and play. Just we need to plug the device and we need to wait. For few devices, we need to restart the system and it starts working. We no need to install drivers, it will install automatically. But when it comes to older operating system, Windows 7 or Windows XP, we need to install the device drivers manually and we need to install the drivers correctly. If drivers gets wrong, the functioning of that device will get affected. As I have already mentioned, plug and play automatically configures new devices as you install them. Mostly when it comes to few devices which are plug and play, like keyboard, mouse, plug and play. Just we need to plug, it will get detected and we will be able to access it. But there are few devices where we need to install the drivers. Operating system typically provides a means to establish internet connection. With the help of operating system, we will be able to connect to internet also. We can check the performance of the CPU or a laptop or a device, whatever we are using, we can check the performance in the resource monitor. What is the RAM utilization? What is the CPU utilization? What is the time in between what time it is getting high, in mid what time it is getting low. Depending upon that, we can take a call whether we need to increase the processor, higher, we need to go for a higher end processor, or whether we need to increase the RAM. Likewise, operating systems often provides users with the capability of managing files, searching for files, viewing images or video clips, defragmenting the disk, cleaning up the disk, backupping of files and disk, setting up screensavers, etc., diagnosing the problems. Here, this is the screen of Windows 7 updates. How we can do the automatic updates of a operating system. If your operating system is a genuine version, you can do the updates. Automatically provides updates to the program. Just in Windows search, you need to type updates or you need to go into the control panel and select check for updates. It will connect to the internet and it will take some time and it will show flash up with install updates of your computer are ready to install, and these are the updates what we need to install. Some operating systems are designed to work with a server on a network. Like a server operating system organizes and coordinates how multiple users access and share resources on a network. Mostly server operating systems are there because if there are multiple users, if you take a number, 100 users are there, out of which 10 users are from accounts department. So they will be having access to accounting files. They won't have access to any other department files. And they will have printing job also. So they will have access to printer also. There is a sales team. So there is a sales software, they will be having access to that particular software. They won't have access to the accounting software. So likewise, server. In server, we can organize how multiple user access and share resources on a network. A network administrator uses the server operating system to add and remove users, or computers and other devices. Like if we have three printers in one network and there is a printer requirement in second network, just we need to remove that third printer from network 1 and we need to install that printer in network 2. Means we no need to remove it physically, we just need to change the network 1 IP address from network 1 IP address to network 2 IP address and need to give access to those are the who are the users. For them we need to give printer access so it will get connected. Install software and administer network securities. Each user has a user account and user ID identifies a specific user. Each user will have the username and password. When it comes to server, operating system and Active Directory, if it is installed, a user can go and sit anywhere on any system. He just need to use his credentials, log in, he will be able to access the resources, the program or the software, whatever he required from any system with the help of his user ID and password when he is in a same domain. A password is a private combination of characters associated with the username. Categories of operating system. Standalone operating systems are nothing but Mac OS, Windows XP, Windows 7, etc. When it comes to server operating systems, they are Windows 2000, Windows 2008, Windows 2016 operating systems. When it comes to embedded operating systems, they are Windows Mobile, Windows Embedded CE, iPhone OS, BlackBerry, Google Android, etc. Operating systems of embedded. A standalone operating system is a computer operating system that works on a desktop computer, notebook, or mobile computing device. As you see, there is a X brand which is providing Windows operating system on mobile phone. And there is Y brand which is providing some other operating system on those devices. And there is Z brand which is providing some their in-house developed operating system on Android. So the mobile devices what we are using, most of the devices are having different on based of Android they have developed their own operating systems. Standalone operating system is nothing but it will be installed on a single device, single user. Windows 7 is Microsoft's fastest, most efficient operating system today and is available in multiple editions. Windows 7 Starter, Windows 7 Home Basic, Windows 7 Home Premium, Windows 7 Professional, Windows 7 Ultimate. All those editions will have some features in it. And the applications or the software, each and every application won't function in each and every operating system. It depends what is the operating system you are using. Accordingly, we need to install the softwares compatible with that flavor or that edition of operating system. When comes to Windows 10 edition, there are two flavors available, Windows Home and Windows Professional. When it comes to Windows Home, there are few limited programs. When it comes to Windows Pro, A to Z, it will function. Windows 7 provides programs such as Windows Firewall or Windows DVD Maker or Desktop Gadget Gallery or Windows Media Player. There are some inbuilt features or programs in Windows 7 where we can access and use it. In Windows 7, you will be having gadget gallery. In Windows XP, you won't have that much of gadget gallery. There are few additional Windows 7 features which are listed in the PPT. Macintosh operating system has set the stand for operating system ease of use. Unix is a multitasking operating system developed in the earliest of 1970s. And Linux is an open source popular multitasking Unix type operating system. Most of the servers use Linux because it is difficult to crack when it comes to Microsoft operating system. So most of the servers or database servers will have Linux operating system. Server operating systems, Windows Server 2008, 2016, etc. Solaris, Unix, Linux, Netware are server operating systems. And here are the few things in embedded operating system resides on a ROM chip, on a mobile device or a consumer electronic device. Whatever the thing what we are using, if it is a digital camera also, it will have a ROM chip embedded on it. When we are clicking the button, it get instructions that the picture, whatever it is on a lens need to be captured. So everything is having ROM, read-only memory precised on the board. Embedded operating systems like mobile devices or small gadgets or digital devices. Utility programs. Utility program is a type of system software that allows a user to perform maintenance type of tasks. Like, see here you will be able to see disk cleanup, disk defragmenting, system restore. If system get crashed, if we have kept a restore point at particular date or time, it will get restored at that particular date or time. Disk defragmenting is nothing but the data, whatever written on hard disk platter will be written here and there. So by doing disk defragmenting, we will shrink the data at some segments. Disk cleanup is nothing but cleaning up the hard drive or junk files to make the system work a bit more faster. A file manager is a utility that performs functions related to file management, displaying a list of files, organizing the files in folders, copying, renaming, deleting, creating shortcuts, etc. A such utility is a program that attempts to locate a file on your computer based on criteria you specify. If there is a file name called Tulip, Windows S, or you can just go to the search bar, type Tulip, file name, okay, it will show it is in a D drive or whatever the file names with matches with that name, it will list all those files. So we need to select what is the file type and we need to access that file with the help of search utility. Our image viewer allows users to display, copy, and print the content of a graphical file. An uninstaller removes a program as well as any associated entries in the system file. If there is a program, if we have installed some X application into our operating system and we don't require that application anymore, just go to the control panel, select uninstall a program, select the specific program which you want to uninstall it. You can uninstall that program. It will ask you, do you want to remove the files what it has been stored? Just tick mark, remove. Restart the system, done. As I have already mentioned you, disk cleanup utilities search for and removes unnecessary files, downloaded program files, temporarily internet files, or deleted files or unused program files will be get erased from the junk with the help of disk utility. Disk defragmenter recognizes the files and unused space on a computer hard disk so that the operating system access data more quickly and programs runs faster. Disk defragmenting helps to find out what are the parts where the data has been stored so that it will get access in a faster way so that we will be able to see the document or the program whatever we want to run or display on our desktop. It will get displayed in bit more faster way if we are going to run disk defragmenter. Backup utility allows users to copy files to another storage medium. You can take the backup on an external hard drive or thumb drive, whatever the means of medium you are having, so that if there is any crash of your operating system or a hard drive, so that you can use that backup file and you can start working immediately. A restore utility reverses the process and returns backup files to their original form. In Windows 7, Windows 10, there will be a restore utility option available. If our operating system get crashed, we can restore to 1 week backdate or 10 days backdate or 15 days backdate or whatever the point where the operating system is functioning properly, we can restore our operating system to that particular restore point. A screensaver causes a display device's screen to show a moving images or blank screen if no activity occurs for a specific time. So we can use screensavers whenever if we have set a timeline of 10 minutes of any inactive, if you're not performing any activity for 10 minutes, then if you set a screensaver, it will get flash up. The screensaver get flashed up. Firewall detects and protects a personal computer from unauthorized institutions. A virus describes a potential damaging computer program that affects a computer negatively. There are worm copy itself repeatedly in a memory over a network. Worm is nothing but it travels from one system to another system from network and it keep on making some XYZ file name, XYZ file name, and it creates wherever it goes, it creates XYZ file names into a network. Trojan horse hides within or looks like a legitimate program. Trojan virus is nothing but it will create a file name Similar to the file name, what is already present in a system. Antivirus program protects the computer against viruses. A program or a file suddenly is missing, or unknown program or file mysteriously appears, the computer operates much slower than usual. A file becomes corrupted. The size of a file changes without explanation. There is a small file, but it gets changed to zero or some bigger size. Those are the indications or intimations of virus infection into the operating system. Spyware is a program placed on a computer without the user's knowledge that secretly collects information about the user. A spyware remover detects and deletes spyware and other similar programs. Adware displays an online advertisements in a banner or pop-up window. An adware remover is a program that detects and deletes adware. If you are browsing something and you will be able to see towards right side pane or left side pane, ads gets pop up. Those are nothing but adwares. Filters are programs that remove or block certain items from being displayed. There are web filters. If you want to restrict a few websites, we can restrict those websites by filtering with the help of a web filter. Pop-up blocker. If we are using a pop-up blocker, we can stop pop-ups of few ads. Likewise, if we need to allow some pop-ups, we can allow those pop-ups in a browser. A file compression utility shrinks the size of a file. Means if there is a file of a larger size, with the help of using compression utility, we can shrink the size of that file. We can zip or rar the file so that the even size will get decreased and all multiple files will come into one single file. Zipping the file. A media player allows you to view images, animations, or listen to music, audio, video files on your computer. And examples of media player, there are inbuilt media players, and as well as there is a VLC media player, and there are many other media players available. Disk burning. Miro is the software which is we use to write on a CD or a DVD drive with the help of Miro. For example, Norton or Quickheal, McAfee are the few brands which provides antivirus security. A personal computer maintains utility, identifies and fixes operating system problems, detects and repairs disk problems, and includes the capability of improving a computer performance. How we are going to install Windows 7 operating system? What are the things required? a laptop or a desktop with complete input and output devices and complete hardware. And we need a CD drive or a flash drive or USB to install the operating system with ISO image file. As a technician, you must be able to know the variations or options in installing an operating system that is compatible with the hardware requirement of a personal computer. Here the sentence is precising us whatever the hardware we are having, whether we are able to install the operating system of Windows 7 on it or not, whether the hardware is compatible with Windows 7 operating system or not, we should know. Or if we are installing some other XOS, we need to know whether the device is compatible with that X operating system or not. Another operating system available in the market now is the Windows 7 version. Now take a tour through the procedures in installing a Windows 7 operating system. I believe the procedure will be very easy for you. Turn on your computer and then press Del or F2 keys depending upon your computer main board to enter into the BIOS settings. It purely depends how in some F1 or in some F2 key or in some devices Del key. By pressing it, we will be entering into the BIOS setting. It purely depends on the type of system what we are using. Go to the boot menu, select the boot device from the menu, whether it is a CD-ROM inbuilt or whether it's a USB CD-ROM external or whether it's a USB flash drive or thumb drive, that we need to select as a first boot device to get boot the operating system. Press F10 to save the settings, what we have done in the BIOS, and then restart the computer. Save the settings, press OK, and restart the computer. So the settings, the changes what we have done in the BIOS will get saved and the system starts taking first boot device as a CD-ROM, what we have selected in a previous slide. Like CD-ROM, it will get selected as a first boot device and it will get boot up. Insert Windows 7 DVD into your DVD drive, then start your computer. Windows 7 will load files. First screen, Windows is loading files. Second screen, Windows starting Windows. Select your language, time and currency format, keyboard or input method, and click next. When we are selecting, the default should be same. English United States, keyboard or input method should be US. When we are installing operating system in India, it should be these three. By default, we need to select. Click install now. Install now. Windows installation starts. Check I accept license terms and click next. Check this box and click next. Click upgrade if you already have a previous Windows version, or if you are installing fresh version of OS, then select custom. If you don't have a previous Windows version or you want to install a fresh copy of Windows 7, you need to select custom version. See, then you will be able to see a hard drive. Whatever the size of a hard drive, you will be able to see here. Then you need to drive that hard drive into partition. If it is Windows 7, what is the size you need to take? It is 100 GB or 150 GB of C drive. You need to specify there. Select the drive where you want to install Windows 7 and click next. If you want to make any partitions, click drive option here and you need to create the partitions. Make the partitions and then click next. No, you want to install on a single drive OS and make a single partition, select that hard drive and start installing the operating system. No, you want to make 2 to 3 partitions, C, D, and E, then you need to select the drive option, divide the partitions. If your hard disk is of 500 GB, then divide the hard disk into 150 GB for C and remaining 2 partitions for D and E drive. Likewise, you need to define and C need to remember whatever the C you are giving size of operating system drive. In future, what are the applications you are going to install? You need to think of that. If C gets full and you need to install few more applications, then it would be difficult for you to install those applications into your C drive. It will now start installing Windows 7. The first step that copies Windows files were already done when you are booting the Windows 7 DVD. So it's complete instantly. When it compares to Windows XP, the time taken for installing Windows 7 is pretty much faster when comparison with Windows XP. So here, copying Windows files, one by one tasks get completed and you will be able to see tick marks one by one. See, first copying Windows files finished, expanding Windows files 0% from 0 to 100, second task accomplished. After completing the first task, first step, it will expand or decompress the files, then it has been copied. The third and fourth step will also complete instantly like the first step. See, you will be able to see here, third step got finished, fourth step, installing updates, installing features, third and fourth, installing features, installing updates. After that, it will automatically restart after 15 seconds and continue the setup. You can also click restart now to restart without any delay. It will give a pop-up. The system will get restart automatically within 15 seconds. You can wait or you can manually select restart to restart immediately. After restarting, setup is getting update, registry starts and starting Windows screen will get displayed. After restarting, first time, it will continue the setup. This is the last step, so it will take most time than the previous steps. Completing the setup. Last step, fifth one. It will now automatically restart again, second restart, and continue the setup. You can restart now or you can wait. You can do the manual restart, or you can wait for 15 seconds so that the system will get automatically restarted. Setup is preparing for your computer for first use. Setup is checking video performance. It will do checks. Type your desired name in the text box and click next. Means we need to type the system name, the PC name what we want to give, the system name and the username here. Then we need to check in like admin or workgroup PC. Likewise, we need to give the name and then click next. If you want to set the password, you can give the password. You need to retype the password, and as a hint, you need to type some phrase or word so that it will be helpful for you to know what is the password you have given in the type password hint, third box. And here you need to enter the product key of operating system, and then you need to select next. If you want the product key later, click next. If you want to type the product key later without running, will run only for 30 days if you do that. After 30 days, you will be get a pop-up. Please activate your Windows till you enter the key, operating system key. Select your desired options for Windows Update and ask me later. You need to select ask me later and you need to start the procedure and updates you can do further. Select the date and time. If you are connected to any network, if you are connected in a domain, you need to precise that work network. You need to select work network and then you need to give the domain name and the password of that domain to connect into that network. If it is a home network or small network, then okay, you can connect it in a home network or a work group. Windows is ready. Preparing your desktop. Windows is ready. So today's session, I'm stopping here and further we will be continuing Windows 10 installation and how we are going to check the updates of Windows 10 in tomorrow's session. And anyone having doubts, one after one, need to unmute yourself, raise your query and mute yourself.
As you told that embedded software, I need to know what is this embedded software and what does it mean?
Embedded software is nothing but the application which is installed on a mobile device. Like for example, if you take a Nokia, there is an embedded software of Windows on it. Okay, and if you take a MI device, there is a MIUI operating system, embedded MIUI operating system on MI device. And that MIUI operating system has been developed based on Android operating system. Okay. Next question, please.
Is embedded software or applications are useful in our hardware line or software line, whether it is useful in any aspect?
Could you please repeat your question?
Is embedded software or applications are useful in our daily activities?
Yes. See, when you're using your mobile handset,
Apart from mobile and all?
no, if a person who is not using any application and if he is visiting for a retail outlet, okay, for shopping mall, there definitely they will be having a device. In that there will be some embedded softwares. There he will be using it. If he is visiting to a small merchant nearby home, then no, he won't come across any such applications in his day-to-day life.
Hello, sir. Can we have this PDF or PPTs in our group?
See, in the first, yeah, in first session, we have already mentioned that we are not going to share any presentations. Whatever we are teaching, we will be uploading on a YouTube. You will be getting link shared in the group. You can go revise the session, prepare the notes, and further you can Google up and prepare your notes.
Okay, sir.
You need to prepare your notes by yourself.
Okay, sir.
I have a question on operating system. Like you said, we are installing from CD. If we are installing from pen drive or any other device, there is any setting we need to change?
Yes, as I have already mentioned, when we are installing in a BIOS setting, I have mentioned you, if we are installing from a CD drive, we need to select a CD drive. If we are installing from an external USB CD drive, we need to select that option there as a first boot device.
Okay.
If you are installing from a flash drive like pen drive, we need to select that as a first boot device.
Okay, got it.
Okay, am I clear?
Clear.
Yeah, okay. Next. Any more questions? And again, I'm making clear, whoever is attending the theory classes will be allowed to the practical classes, and the intimation will be given in the group. And those who are not attending the theory classes will not be allowed for the practical
Excuse me, sir.
classes. And
Can we
practical
make a
classes
bootable
are
pen drive
not
also,
going to
sir?
be uploaded on a YouTube link. Yeah. Who's speaking? Yes. Any questions? And whoever joining the Zoom link, please join with your name, not with some numbers and all. You need to use your name when you are joining with a Zoom link. Any more questions?
Can we get a PDF or soft copies of this material of this classes?
Again, I'm repeating, we won't be sharing any PDF or soft copy of the class. We will upload the session on YouTube and the link will be shared in the group. From there, you need to access the YouTube link and you have to prepare your notes by yourself. Apart from that, you need to search the Google and you need to prepare your notes. And you have to start that. You need to do that day by day so that you will be getting prepared yourself for the interviews. If you are not going to prepare your notes, then it will be difficult for you to get attend in the interview. And even we can help you further.
Sir, when we will get this links?
I think in WhatsApp group, they are sharing in WhatsApp group, no? Just you ping in the group that you need YouTube links for the classes. They will be sharing you the links, okay? Any questions
Sir,
related to the session?
sir, when the session class it will be start, sir?
What?
CCNA classes.
Will take time. Next.
Sir, what's the process of bootable pen drive, sir? Can you give some explanation?
Yeah, when it comes to bootable pen drive, we need to install some setup into the thumb drive, and then we need to copy that iOS file into the thumb drive. Then it will be act as a bootable thumb drive, and it should not contain any other file apart from the operating system file, or else it won't act as a USB bootable drive.
Sir, cloud computing concept is in the course, sir?
Yes. Any more questions? And when you are coming to the practical classes, you have to bring down your notes on a day-to-day basis, what you are preparing with the
Hello,
help of
sir. I have a
YouTube
doubt,
link.
sir.
Okay.
Sir, what is the storage of a bootable pen drive, sir?
It depends on your pen drive size. If
Okay.
you have
Like
taken
a.
a GB, 16 GB, 32 GB,
Okay.
it depends on that.
Okay, sir. Fine.
The operating system, what you are installing
Okay.
from a bootable pen drive, depending upon that, you need to decide the size of the pen drive.
Okay, sir. Sir, one more question, sir. Sir, we use an operating system, a dual in option, sir. Like in how we can use that dual options in using in a one computer, sir.
Yes,
Like Windows 7 and Windows XP in a one computer,
yes,
sir.
with the help of virtual
Installing
machine setup.
Sorry, sir. I didn't
After
get, sir.
putting your question, please mute yourself with the help of virtual machine.
Okay.
In previous session, I have already explained regards this question. With the help of virtual machine, you can install dual operating systems in one single system. And it purely depends upon the type of hardware and the previous operating system what is installed in your system. Depending upon that, you can install one more operating system, or else your
Okay.
hardware get crashed.
And sir, how many bit we required, sir? It's around 32 bits. It's enough for, sir, like for operating it, sir, or like in 64 for minimum. We need for dual operating system, sir.
No, it doesn't depends on 32 or 64 bit.
Okay.
It depends on your hardware. What is the hardware and what is the
Okay, sir.
previous
Got it,
version
sir.
of your operating system.
Okay, sir. Got it, sir.
When you are talking about the architecture, 32-bit architecture and
Yes, sir.
64-bit architecture, RAM depends on RAM. If you are using 64-bit architecture operating system, minimum 4 GB RAM should be there in your operating system. When it comes to 32-bit architecture, minimum 2 GB RAM should be there in your operating system.
Okay, sir. Got it.
And it purely depends if you are installing a 8 GB RAM with a 32-bit architecture, it won't use 8 GB RAM, waste. Next question.
excuse me, sir. Is there any course content?
Means you want to know what is tomorrow's topic. Schedule. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, there is a course content with the faculties, and accordingly they are teaching their course day by day. Hardware and networking, and daily there will be classes for English communication skills, and after hardware and networking there will be Windows Server Administration, and then there will be CCNA, and then there will be cloud computing classes likewise, and the syllabus will be pre-decided by the faculties. Next question. Any questions related to today's topic?
Sir, one more question, sir. Like, in how we can find an error in the program, sir? It will all. So
If
how
you are
we can find
using,
errors in the program, sir?
yeah, it depends on the application. You need to work on the application, and you need to see how the program is starting, how program
Okay.
is functioning. Depending upon that, you will be know. You can't just ask me how to find out an error in a
No, sir. No, sir. I mean to say that at the end of the at the program, we get to know that is there any errors, or like in automatically it will be going like that, only floating like that. Like I mean to say, like status will be available at the end of the program, sir.
No, you will be getting some pop-ups now. If there
Okay.
is a program not responding, you will be able to
Okay.
see some pop-ups, or you need to check in the control panel, the program's device manager, how it's responding or not, whether the application is compatible with the hardware, with, the, with what it is functioning. You need to check all aspects, multiple things. Then you can come to a conclusion.
Okay. Sir.
Okay, any more questions so that we can end the session? If there are no questions, please reply in chat box so that we can end today's session. If there are questions, please ask. Any more questions? If there are no questions, please reply in chat as no so that we can end the today's session. Yeah, how to find out whether a RAM is functioning correctly or not. When it comes to RAM, you will be able to see the beep sounds. Depending upon the beep sound, you need to identify a RAM is getting faulty. With the help of blue screen error is one of the indication towards RAM getting faulty. Practical date and time will be shared in the group one day before. Bootable pen drive you can use as many times as you want to use. Muhammad Moinuddin, you can use the bootable pen drive. How to know whether the system is capable of that particular operating system or not? You need to check what is the hard drive, what is the RAM, is in it and what is the generation of the hardware it is. Depending upon that, we need to decide whether what operating system you need to install in that. If it is a 10th generation operating system, definitely you have to install Windows 10 only. If it is 5th generation, 4th generation operating system, you can install Windows 7 as well as Windows 10. Which is the best operating system? Windows 7, 8, 10 for flash drive. You can install any operating system in flash drive to make it a bootable pen drive. Any more questions? So should I end the today's session? Okay, please stop recording and end the today's session.